Hey guys, it's Jenny, and this is our Reiki Restorative class for the, oh my gosh, my brain just totally went out the door for a second. August 15th through the 21st. And we're going to be doing mostly on the wall today. So if you need some pillows, that's cool, and potentially a strap or something that you can put around your ankles if you think you need that. Otherwise, that's probably all you're going to need today. And we're going to take a few postures on the wall, and then we're going to relax into our mat and just take some time to come back to ourselves and ask ourselves some conscious questions today, okay? Because one of the things that's the very most important is that we be consciously choosing our life experience. We make conscious choices in regards to our life experience. A lot of the times, we like to pretend that we are victims of circumstance and that we have no power and that we have no choice and that we just have to go along with the flow of whatever is without interjecting our own desire of our own heart or pursuing our own truth. And, a lot of that isn't because there's nothing we can do, that there are no options. A lot of that is because we don't like the options that are available to us. A lot of the times those desires of the heart shake up and break up and destroy all of the old social programs, all of the old narratives, all of the old dogmas and belief systems. And in lieu of having our whole world swiped out from underneath our feet, we think that whole rug is just being yanked out from underneath us, that everything we ever knew is no longer. And that's because the things that we knew are not truth. They're just stories. They're somebody else's truth that I've adopted or adapted to my own experience. There's somebody else's dogmas and belief systems that I've taken as my own. They don't resonate with the fundamental aspects of me. And so it's easier to go with the flow, not to make the disruptions, not to create the waves. For those of us who don't necessarily like to be the center of attention, oh my God, people are going to look at me, people are going to notice me, they're going to say things about me, I'm making myself a target, so to speak, And that's something that we have to understand, is that as we step into our own, yes, we're going to come up against opposition. Yes, there are going to be people who do not like the fact that we are standing on our own, that we are stepping into our own experience, that we are beginning to make those conscious choices and take the conscious actions necessary for me to evolve and shift and grow and to truly experience this life in a very truthful, honest way. Yes, I'm going to come up against those oppositions, but they do not matter. I'm not here for other people's approval. I'm not here for other people to accept me and to support every single thing I do. That's never going to happen, number one. And number two, if I'm just, never, ever, ever accessing those fundamental aspects of my being because I'm so busy trying to blend in, I'm so busy trying to play the game to maintain the old paradigm, I'm going to miss out on all of the potential beauty of who and what I actually am, of who and what I can actually bring into this time and space. All the incredible, unique things that I can be birthing into this time and space that only I can birth. Only me. I don't care who admires you. I don't care who seeks to replicate what you're doing. I don't care who is trying to do whatever it is that you're doing. They will never do it just like you. Never. And that's the beauty of you. That's your gift to give, your authentic expression, your unique way of experiencing this time and space, your birthing into this world that is just so unique and special to you. So we've got to wake up. We have got to start doing things differently. We've got to start creating the changes necessary and taking responsibility for my experience. Yeah, those new choices, those things that I'm scared to look at might hold a lot of big change for me. It might mean that I have to quit a job that I've become dependent on. It might mean that I have to leave relationships that I've become dependent on. It might mean that I have to draw attention to myself when I'm not comfortable doing that, you know. But those are all of the things that are part of the transition. It's saying yes to the stuff that we're afraid of, right? And dissolving those fears, coming up against those fears, eradicating those fears, and doing the things that are in the desire of the heart, honoring the truth of your own being. And I've talked about this before in other classes, but I think it's worth reminding ourselves of again, of like, what are the things? Where are those areas that I have just not been willing to accept change? Where are those areas that I'm allowing my fears to override my truth? What are those things that are necessary for me to change because they don't feel good? I feel the rub of inconsistency to my vibration, this thing that's not aligned or in agreement with me. But I'm keeping it. I'm continuing to feed it. I'm continuing to do the thing. I'm continuing to make this choice because it's what I think I'm supposed to do, quote unquote, according to society, according to what other people tell me, what their expectations of me look like, or my ideals of perfection. So I've really got to be looking at this stuff all the time. And I think this is a great time to remind ourselves, you know, what is this stuff? What is the stuff that I have been fostering, that I've been continuing to feed, that's not mine, that's not for me, that doesn't feel good? I feel the rub of the thing because it's not aligned to me. What is that stuff that I have been agreeing to out of fear, out of, you know, that fear of being seen, out of the fear of standing out of the fear that I'm going to lose something? Oh my God, how big of a deal is that? We're always so scared we're going to lose something. You can never lose anything. Anything that leaves your experience was never yours to begin with, right? It was never mine. It was a part of my experience at the moment in time that it was necessary for me to have it. And it's okay to grow and expand beyond that thing. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes that's going to happen. And it doesn't mean like, oh yeah, once it happens, it feels amazing and great and wonderful. No, it's usually super uncomfortable. There's a detachment, there's a grieving process, there's a release, there's all of this stuff that happens, you know? And it's okay to go through those uncomfortable experiences to get to the growth, those growing pains. You know what I'm saying? To get to the new possibilities, the new potential, the new space that could exist for you in the fullness of who and what you are, not the limited aspect of you, right? So today we're going to go ahead and get started with those really comfortable supportive props or postures on the wall. So we're going to spend a lot of time with our legs in the air today. What are we doing when we put our legs in the air? For one thing, we're relieving pressure off of our heart, right? So we are giving the heart the ability to function with more ease, giving us that ability, that time to rest and restore and relax fully and truthfully, even the heart, that thing that's always, always, always supporting our vital experience. It's always pumping, it's always pressing that life force through our veins to keep us alive, to keep us vital. So let's give that part of our being a little bit of a relaxation today so that we can potentially receive any information that's meant for us, so that we can integrate anything that's meant for us to have integrated, so that we can become aware of anything that we need to become aware of today while we're in these resting postures. So let's just be really open to whatever we might receive today. So we're going to go ahead and just start with our legs at the wall. Really simple, legs at the wall. Take a pillow for your head. And remembering that when we start with the legs at the wall, we start on our side. So you can start on your left or your right side. And we're going to stack our hips one on top of the other. So I have my right hip stacked on top of my left hip, and my glutes are pressed firmly up against the wall. I'm down on the forearm of my left arm. I'm going to come down onto my left side fully, and then I'm going to swing my legs around and up onto the wall. And your glutes should be pressed up against the wall at this point. And just adjust your pillow however you need to and get really comfortable. If you want to put a blanket on that upper part of your body, go ahead and feel free to do so. This is where if you want to put a strap around your ankles or a belt, or I have even a headband here, you can do that. So you can just let go. You don't have to support those legs and hold them up so that they don't fall to the side. You can just relax, and those arms can be at the side of the body with the palms face up or face down. You can even take the palms onto the belly or onto the heart space. And close your eyes and draw your awareness inside. And breathe into the body. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully, completely. And starting to take that bridge from the physical body back to the spirit. Nothing changes, nothing changes. So where are those parts of my experience that are begging for change right now? Where could I potentially be focusing my attention? To create those changes necessary that would open up my experience. How willing am I to get out of my comfort zone? So that I can follow the desires of my own heart. Fully relaxing and sinking into the earth beneath you. Go ahead and take a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then if you have a belt or anything around those ankles, you can move it. We're going to keep that left leg long up the wall, and we're going to take that right leg. We're just going to drop the sole of the foot in towards the calf and release that leg down as much as feels comfortable and safe. And if you need a blanket or a rolled up pillow or something underneath that thigh to keep it comfortable, and go ahead and feel free to do so. You can even take a yoga strap or a belt, wrap it around the foot and the thigh, never on the joint of the knee, just to keep them together. And then just closing the eyes and relaxing back into the body. And sinking into your breath. Sinking into the earth. Breathing nice and deep and full. And just visualizing that prana, that new life force energy moving into all of those cells, all of the atoms, and all of the space in between. Totally enlivening them with that divine energy, that cosmic energy that you're inhaling. Just take a moment to reflect on any major changes that you've made this year. Any major choices, big changes. Just take a moment to contemplate on how that's going for you. What is your attitude about it? Are you staying positive? Are you holding that vision of the heart's desire in your mind's eye and continuing to fuel that dream, that choice, that change with that level of energy? Or have you potentially not seen the results you want to see as fast as you want to see them, so you're allowing those old sneaking suspicions, those old ways of talking to ourselves, discouragements, to slip in and to poison that dream of the heart? And again, if you haven't made any major changes this year, consider where is that first place that needs that change, that's begging for that change. We tell ourselves we can't, when in reality we can. We're just afraid. Afraid of the consequences, afraid of the loss. Fearing that the divine will not replace any energy that we've believed that we have lost or has been taken away with something greater, something more appropriate, something more divine, divinely inspired.
Take a couple deep inhalations through the nose and exhale fully, completely through the mouth. And then on your next inhalation, lengthening again through the right leg, draw it upward to meet the left. And then exhale, drop that left leg down the wall, taking the sole of the foot towards the inner thigh of the right leg. Readjust that belt if you need to, or yoga strap. And relax into the earth. If you have no idea where to begin, what changes need to be made, then ask that soul space to speak to you today. Ask that higher part of your own being where the necessary change is. And if you've been making those big changes, but you've been allowing the old voice, discouragement to come in and to poison your dreams, take a moment to realign yourself to your faith. Recognizing that when we follow the desire of the heart, the entire universe is supporting us in following those dreams and birthing those new changes into the world. Everything is conspiring in your favor. Take a couple deep breaths. Deeply in through the nose, pulling completely out through the mouth. On your next exhalation, we're going to drop the right foot down the wall, bending through the knee, allowing the soles of the feet to find each other for that elevated butterfly pose. And sinking back into the breath. If you don't know the dreams of your heart, then it's time to become self-aware. To know thyself. To do the work of discovering truth of your own being, unencumbered by the social programs and the dogmas and all of this stuff that's been thrust upon you in your human experience, coming down to the bare bones, the fundamentals of who and what you are. And that is where you access the soul space. That is where you access the dream of the heart. But you have to be willing to look, to see, to be accountable and responsible for everything that you find within that space. And to consciously choose where you're going to focus your attention, what energies you are going to feed, what conscious choices and conscious actions and words you are going to take and use. Take a moment to think about who are you fundamentally. Who are you? What are the beautiful, unique, incredible aspects that create your embodiment? Take a moment to celebrate all of those qualities of your being. Take a couple deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take those hands to the outside of those legs, super gently pressing them back together into the soles of the feet. Find the ball and knees are bent into the chest. Take a couple more deep breaths here. You can even give yourself a tight squeeze if you want. And rolling over onto your left side. Couple more deep breaths. And then really slow and gentle, pressing into the palm of the right hand and drawing yourself upward into a seated position. And you're going to come into your final Shavasana posture. So whatever supported final Shavasana posture feels best and most comfortable to you. Pillow at the top if you want something for underneath your knees or a blanket to cover up with, and go ahead and feel free to do so. And then closing your eyes and sinking into the earth, sinking back into your body and breath. Deep in the breath. We're going to ask ourselves a few self-discovery questions while I send you guys some Reiki. First question. What is most important to me at this time? What do you need more of in your life? What is a fear that you would like to get over? What are you really good at? What makes you smile? What makes you feel safe? What are your top 5 priorities? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are you really good at? What would you like to get better at? Last question. What makes you come alive? Sometimes we just need to remember who we are. We need to remember who we are so that we can refocus with the truth that we are divine, divine spirit manifesting as humanity. First and foremost, all the time. Really slow, start coming back to the body. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Wrapping hands around wrists or feet around ankles. Taking any gentle stretches that you might need to fully draw yourself back into this physical space on your mat. Rolling over onto the right side in the fetal position. And taking a few deep breaths. And then pressing into the palm of the left hand whenever you're ready. Drawing yourself upright into a comfortable seated position so that we can finish our practice today with 3 long Sat Nams. Sat Nam, I am truth, truth is my name, truth is my identity. Take those hands in a prayer pose, tuck those thumbs into the chest. Inhale deeply. Exhale, fully and completely. Inhale to begin.
say thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through class today. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me and just sharing this beautiful space with me, whether it be online or in person. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next week. Until then.